first man to go will be the brilliant Swedish driver Per Eklund, who is 33 years old and who is driving one of the most powerful cars in today's event. It's the Triumph TR7 V8, which pumps out some 300 horsepower. Now watch the digital clock in the top right corner of your screen. It will stop at about 50 seconds to give you an indication of how all the drivers are comparing with each other. So, Per Eklund, the man who won last year with an aggregate time of 3 minutes 5.8 seconds, and he was in a Triumph TR7 V8 last year as he is this year. Eklund goes round the 5 counties corner, climbs now, he's climbing all the way up the hill. It's very, very tricky in the section he's approaching now. A series of swinging right and left bends, and watch the way he positions the car on the accelerator. He will actually be going round, for instance, a left bend on full right lock at some points, and vice versa. Tremendously demanding conditions. It's very, very slippery indeed. So the Swedish ace, who was incidentally fastest not only last year but fastest in practice today, with an aggregate time of 3 minutes 7.2 seconds compared with his record last year of 3 minutes 5.8. Almost home now, approaching the start and finish banner, which goes across the course, and you'll see him swing into side of it. So he's broken the beam, and Per Eklund with left-hand drive has completed the first run. So there is Eklund's time, 1:34.6, and the second man up with something to prove is Pentti Aricola in the Vauxhall Chevette. The something he wishes to prove today is that he is every bit as good as his teammate Jim McRae, because Vauxhall have had to withdraw one of their cars from rally competition this season, and to their great regret it had to be Pentti Aricola who lost the drive. The Finnish driver, 34 years old, comes from Helsinki but lives in Marlow now. And he's trying very, very hard indeed. Alongside him, Richard Angus, who works for Vauxhall, getting a look at it from the passenger's seat. And Pentti Aricola, like the Swedish driver Per Eklund, who preceded him in this run, is sitting on the left-hand side of the car. Now 5 counties corner, and there's a 400-foot drop to the right of Richard Angus, Aricola's passenger. Now he's cleared it and will burst into sight. There he is, Aricola, and there's the split time. 50.9 was Aricola's time there. And that compares with Per Eklund, 50 seconds. So Eklund was quicker to the split time point on his run. Eklund, of course, has got a considerable horsepower advantage over the Vauxhall Chevette of Pentti Aricola, who's throwing it about beautifully. And tyres are very, very critical. Aricola is on French tyres of a make, the Michelin type, that he's never driven on before. This is the first competition that he's been in on these tyres, and tyres are going to be very, very critical today. There's 4 different makes of tyres spread over the 10 cars that are competing. And not only as Aricola finishes 1 minute 34.8, so that's 0.2 of a second slower, 1/5 of a second slower than Per Eklund. Down there then, Anders Kulang, the Swedish driver from Brunskog, and he is the man in the car to watch, because he is in the new, first time this season on television in Britain, Opel Ascona, which puts out some 250 brake horsepower and is very much a challenge to the previously all-conquering Ford Escort. And Fords have now officially retired from rally competition while they ready a new car. And Opel have grasped the opportunity with both hands, and the man you are looking at, Anders Kulang, won the Swedish rally, first time out in this new car this year, and then went on to finish 4th in the Monte Carlo rally. I came down with him this morning, a quite incredible experience, sitting on the left of the car, as was Eklund, as was Pentti Aricola. And Kulang was saying how critical tyres were, and the compound he had in practice was far too hard. He's changed his tyres, now into the 5 counties corner again with that enormous drop on the right-hand side of the car. Now climbing still, and it's foot hard down and into the swinging series of bends which are so challenging, and it's absolutely critical where you place the car, and he's slow, as you can see, 2.7 seconds slower to the split point than Per Eklund, who is still very much the fastest. Coulang, tight in, swings it left, and if you put a wheel wrong there, you're straight down into the gully. And not only, by the way, did Tony Pond go off this morning, but Tim Bryce went off in the biggest possible way. His car has been recovered, but Tony Pond's has not. It is still lying way down the hillside, and a very battered and bent motor car it is. But Anders Coulang comes through. He's got a time of 1 minute 34.6 to beat, and he's clearly not going to do so. He's a long time out. 1:38.4 for Anders Coulang. Probably the greatest living rally driver, and to some extent I would even include the world champion Bjorn Valdegaard in that statement, because this is Hannu Mikkola, the Finnish driver, first here in 1978. It was Per Eklund who won last year. Mikkola from Finland, the man who won the World Cup in 1978. He's won the Safari Rally, he's won the Thousand Lakes Rally 5 times. He is going to drive the new four-wheel drive Audi Quattro car next year, and he loves the Ford Escort and goes very, very quickly indeed in it, and spends practically the whole of the year travelling from rally to rally. Hannu Mikkola then from Helsinki. Now, this is the man that could win. First in 1978, he didn't take part last year. 1 minute 34.6 he has to beat, but he's 1.3 seconds slower than Per Eklund. And did you notice how wide he was there? That was about where Tony Pond went off in practice, and Hannu Mikkola just made it. Now the right, left, right sequence of bends, where getting the line for the first one is absolutely critical. 1 minute 30 exactly is the time to shoot for. 1 minute 34.6 Per Eklund, his time. And so he's got to finish within the next 4 seconds or so now. Another left-hand drive car. Mikkola sitting on the left, and a long time. That's a mark of how very quickly Per Eklund is going. 1 minute 34.6 Eklund, 1 minute 36.3 Hannu Mikkola.